Nakitlong ka Ri Khasi. Ngiwan lam siya pi ko sngur bakhuit parpasngam. Ka beats aqua. Si postnem dang yai pinja sliang.
The next gen Tata Tiago. Dual tone interior, dual smartphone deck but wireless charger. Zip fast 100% watt shakmat batshadien, blind view monitor, bakiway. Tek kum ki kaliram, hagador ke bejam, tak 0.1 lak. Just wow.
Jylla Meghalaya lingbagan rupungut kinong mikmat mendaga sngi ka arpun riu trigu nailar arajar arpun riu. Kila menjur ya kara hapok Ïingdorbar tawan ba annom Shah ya ka Sorkar India lani yenu ban Ktah ni mundur ban Khlaiñ ya uranium ubadon haga jylla. Ya kani kara lawan ra dumunti rong ba ka jylla konrat ki sangma hapok Ïingdorbar haga ba uloong ba kani kara kadai ka Khubor ka Khlaiñ ka Sorkar India. Bagi nong mikmat bat kipai ba jong jylla ki ateli halo kani karai bat dalele onum Shah pan Ktah ya uranium hapo jylla ulong bagi jaka Meghalaya ki dei ki long try da ki it ki hima hapo ka jingada ba jing page jong district council kumbala aibor haga krenit ka ban riu ka riti senchar haswa ban shimlang ya kani karai lai shimentaru ban yatai par ajung but ki nong mikmat ki MLA nado unong ilam kaliang persya Dr. Mukul Sangma uba Aden Embasayomoit uba Renekton El Tongkar uba Poleng do Kamiani di Shira uba Aulan Sing Sun uba Bright Star Well Marpanyang Rakam Is Sangma uba Adelbert Nongrum uba Livingstone Kharpran uba Charles Marngar Metap Chandi Is Sangma Dr. Mizanur Razam Kazi Ueti Mondal uba Pius Marwen uba Meral Bones Iem Urupa Marak pad uba Bantido Lingdo Hadirin beladap ke jingatai ulam pang jong Ïingdorbar ulabu jingkli hapo ke ying bad barok ke MLA ke menjur bad ulam pang ulap penbenap ba ke Ïingdorbar tawan jong ke jylla kala shem ya kene karai ban persyati ya uranium na ke jylla.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move a government resolution against the mining of uranium in the state of Meghalaya. Whereas the tribal areas of the state of Meghalaya are administered under the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India, land within the autonomous districts is held predominantly under community, clan and individual customary tenure. The allotment, occupation and use of such land falls within the legislative competence of the autonomous district councils under para 3 of the 6th schedule. The transfer of land is regulated by the Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act 1971. And whereas the Honorable Supreme Court of India in Civil Appeal number 10720 of 2018 in state of Meghalaya versus all Dimasa Students Union, Dima Hasao District Committee and others wide their judgment dated 3rd of July 2019 have clearly held that in Meghalaya, the private owners of the land as well as community owners have both the surface right as well as subsoil right, and thus the tribals in the state owned the land and also owned the minerals. Whereas uranium-bearing minerals have been identified in Domasiat, Wakin and Lostoin areas of West Khasi Hills and Southwest Khasi Hills district, and the Khlaiñ, Soyong, Mautaba and uranium mining project of the Uranium Corporation of India Limited contemplates open cast mining of uranium ore and the establishment of an ore processing plant within that area. Whereas the said area receives exceptionally high rainfall, is too steep terrain and is susceptible to landslides and forms the catchment of streams and rivers on which drinking water, agriculture, fisheries and livelihood depend over a wide area, and the containment of overburden, mill tailings and process effluent in such conditions over the periods involved has not been demonstrated to the satisfaction of the affected communities to be capable of assurance. Whereas the people of the state have, through their traditional institutions, the autonomous district councils, student and civil society organizations, and their elected representatives have consistently opposed the mining of uranium in the state. The free, prior, and informed consent of the affected communities has at no stage been obtained, and no mining lease for uranium has at any time been granted in the state. Whereas the Office Memorandum dated September the 8th, 2025 of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, exempts mining projects of atomic minerals notified in Part B of the first schedule to the Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Act 1957 from public consultation under the Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2006. And whereas the Union Minister of State in charge of the Department of Atomic Energy has stated in Shillong that no decision has been taken on the mining of uranium in the state of Meghalaya, and that matter is under examination. Now, therefore, this House resolves as follows. This House records the opposition of the people of the state of Meghalaya to the mining of uranium and to the establishment of any uranium ore processing facility within the state. This House resolves to urge the Government of India, the Department of Atomic Energy, and the Uranium Corporation of India Limited not to permit, pursue, or undertake any uranium mining operation in the state of Meghalaya, including under the Khlaiñ Pindem Soyong Mauthaba uranium mining project, and to close any activity related to uranium mining anywhere in the state.
You can now initiate.
Sir, as you are aware that this particular subject has been, again, a very, very important aspect and a very important issue that different sections of society have for a very, very long time have been expressing their concerns. At the same time, we are aware that Meghalaya has large deposits of uranium. And in the past, there have been certain activities that took place by the Government of India, which, as mentioned, has been opposed by the public at large. And during that process, for us also, sir, as members, we have seen the different kind of impacts that uranium mining has had in different parts of the country, where to a large extent the health hazards and the impact on the health of people around these mining areas in different parts of the country have been affected, sir. And therefore, as a government, because of the fact that there was no clarity on the stand of the government, on the stand of this House, and on the stand of the people at large, we strongly felt that a resolution must be brought to clearly send a message in one voice that the state of Meghalaya, its people, its government, and its elected members oppose any kind of activity related to mining of uranium or processing of uranium in our state. And as mentioned, sir, in the resolution, that different aspects of the Constitution have given protection to our people, to our land. Supreme Court has upheld that particular aspect of ensuring that our people, its land, and not just the surface, but also the subsoil, belongs to the people of the state. And hence, these protections are meant to ensure, or these rules are meant to ensure the protection of our people and of our land. And therefore, sir, I don't want to to delay or in any way go detailed into all these aspects. These are concerns I am sure almost every citizen, not just the members sitting in the House, but even the citizens who are watching and even people who are sitting in the House will agree and will be united on this very, very important resolution that this government is going to pass. And of course, as I mentioned, sir, that we will be taking this resolution and will be moving forward to the union government and urging them to ensure that no mining activity of uranium nor the processing of uranium should take place in any part of the state in any way that they may think of doing so. So it's a very simple yet a very, very important resolution. We are sure that it's not just what we are doing today for the current population that is there, but for generations to come. This particular resolution will be remembered, sir. And many people will thank this House. And when I say the House, I mean every single member, whether it's the ruling or the opposition. There are times that come that even though we may have different political differences, but when it comes to the protection of our people, when it comes to standing united for the rights of our people, sir, I'm sure we are together and we are one. And therefore, in this particular resolution and this stand, we should unanimously pass this resolution without any kind of doubt in our mind and send a very, very strong message of reassurance to the people of our state and a very strong message to Government of India that the people of Meghalaya are united against the mining and processing of uranium in any form, in any part of the state. With these few words, sir, I once again urge the House that we must unite, we must send a positive message, and therefore we must pass this resolution unanimously in one voice. With these few words, sir, I urge once again to pass this resolution, and I resume my seat.
Any members willing to participate? Yes, Dr. Mukul Sangma.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to submit in brief while appreciating the endeavor of the government to bring it to this August House, to get the unanimity of the members of this August House towards the direction as reflected in the intent of the proposed resolution. Mr. Speaker, sir, this issue has been, the overall proposed uranium mining in the state has been opposed tooth and nail by the people of the state. Ever since this proposal was embarked upon by Government of India, for whatever reason, we don't want to elaborate on that. And it has been very difficult to navigate for many of the government because of the pressure that was forthcoming to agree to this proposed mining of uranium. And we have seen many unfortunate incidents of misgiving, mistrust, lack of trust pertaining to this. And it became also a political tool for many political parties also. And many political parties obviously will weaponize anything that is connected with the sentiment of the people. And nevertheless, having said this, I'm also happy. I would like to put on record my sincere thanks to the then Government of India. When our illustrious late Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji was in office, we took cognizance of the sentiments of the state, the people, and elaborately discussed it a number of times. Because even before I took charge in 2010, the pressure was so much. And being part of the government then, I could see and to be able to withstand. So I had to have quite a number of sittings, but there was a magnanimity from the side of the then Prime Minister. He personally was pursuing this. In fact, number of letters are all on record. How many letters used to come? But then, with utmost sense of sincerity, when we articulate the sentiments of the people, keeping in mind various factors, these also have been factored in this resolution. The size of the state, the terrain, the environment, how we are considered as the state receiving the highest rainfall. So it has to be seen from genuine concern, not as, something which is being surrendered only because of the other reasons. It is not. It is a reality. In the state of Meghalaya, any mining of uranium can have serious impact on the overall well-being of our people without having to elaborate on the ramification on the health hazards. We all know. It's all well documented. And having said this, because Government of India today, I think with the advent of and an advancement of technology, many alternatives. That's a good thing. Our scientific community have come up with number of alternatives and number of technologies which can enable the nation to leverage upon those knowledge, technology, and also the other alternative minerals. Therefore, it is only befitting for me to place on record my sincere thanks to the then Government of India under the illustrious leadership of late Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, and we were never disturbed any further. And that particular, I must say, that understanding continued till now. And I think this is the right time, given the, considering the given situation at this moment, when there is that understanding, it is only appropriate to arrive at a collective decision, and therefore we would like to, with utmost sense of responsibility, support this resolution tabled by the government. And rightly, I would urge upon all the members to see that we show our unanimity and our connect with the sentiments of our people. It's not based on anything, any unfounded scare or other unscientific reason. It is a scientific reason. Therefore, I think we hope that the House will be adopting this resolution with unanimity, sending a strong message. And I would like to only put one rider, one very important rider. This rider is, again, based on the rich deposit. If you look at the deposits, and these deposits are all along, across the western part and eastern part, we have the detail of the deposits. And this crucial information about the deposit is very important for the government to put the people, the community, the landowners in the loop as to how we will utilize the land. Because with all these other mining activities, any area where we have the deposits, if people are not aware, then what can happen, we understand. There are many other areas which are already known to have the deposits, but the landowners don't know. That's the fact. Therefore, there will be quite a substantial amount of work to be done by the concerned department with a complete scientific application of knowledge and technology to take cognizance of those concerns and ensure that the landowners are aware of this fact, and based on that, how they should be guided scientifically and how they should be, to that extent, help to have that kind of power of comprehension for appropriate and optimum utilization of their land resources in future. That should be that should be kept in mind by the government, by the state government, as the honors of responsibility, Mr. Speaker, sir. Because otherwise, it will have, incidental challenge, which will ultimately have a serious ramification, and our people will be seen caught at an unguarded moment. So I think this exhaustive study that should be left to the government. I have only indicated as to how important it is to look at this angle, and also to protect those areas in a manner that other illegalities don't take place. Other illegalities. There has been instances where forces who would like to leverage upon these resources through all illegal means have looked at our state. It is on record and it is available as part of the inputs. And it comes as input again and again. Therefore, that particular concern also must be kept in mind by the government and put all necessary measures. We'll have to probably ramp up the capacity of the departments concerned, the authorities concerned who are assigned with this responsibility. So with this observation and sharing this concern, I once again say that, yes, go forward, show the unanimity. And it is a good thing that our collective endeavor has prevailed upon the Honorable Supreme Court, which is reflected in the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court on the 3rd July 2019, where, in fact, there is an operational part where the Honorable Supreme Court has said, in view of the fact that the owners of the land also has the right over the minerals under the surface of the land, therefore, the contention of the state government to issue mining lease is not acceptable to this court. Please refer to that relevant para. I have referred to that para in this August House. And this also must apply in respect of all other minerals. You see, we are doing something which is actually not inconsistent with this judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. Because this particular interpretation cannot be interpreted in isolation only for coal. Yes. Therefore, the right over the minerals under the surface of the land, whether it is stone, whether it is any other mineral, see, the things have to change. Therefore, when we know the truth of the ownership and our responsibility to pass on that power to the people, I think government has to be ready to see that we let go certain regulation which otherwise is contrary to the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. So I believe, though I take this advantage to refer to, that Honorable Supreme Court judgment is the weapon, the anchor for all of us, even to adopt this resolution. Therefore, having said this, let us also ensure that the right which was taken away from the people is transferred back to the people. It's like a redemption. Let's give back what has been taken back, what has been taken from the people. And it will go a long way in creating that kind of enabling environment for the people of the state, for the owners of the land. Today, owners of the land, the Nokmas, the landowners seems to be so poor, whereas they have the ownership over all these rich resources. Because by default, we have taken their power. That must be restored. Restoration of power must be part of the state. So I believe, and I have all reasons to have the trust and confidence on the government, that this particular issue also will be taken note of, and accordingly, appropriate decision is taken in sync with the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, which was passed on the 3rd of July 2019. And we give back the power to the people, which inadvertently, for whatever reasons, was taken at a point of time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. With these few words, I commend this resolution. I commend the endeavor of the government, and extend my wholehearted support for adoption of this resolution.
Yes. Barden, please.
Sir, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to also participate in this resolution brought by the leader of the House. And at the outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the government. I would like to appreciate the government for bringing this resolution as a government resolution. And I would also like to make a mention in a very categorical term that we stand in support with this resolution of brought by the government. So, as I stand here to make my submission on this resolution, I am also reminded about the resolution passed by this August House, by the previous government, MDA-1, in 2019, and that resolution is for the implementation of ILP in the state of Meghalaya. And I'm sure that no one is aware about the status of that resolution. And we have not seen that there will be any official communication from the government of India in response to that resolution. Therefore, sir, there are some questions that I would like to revolve my submission in this discussion. So, my question is, what will be the fate of this resolution? Because though we support wholeheartedly, we are with the government on this issue. And let me also bring to the notice of this August House. I was only convinced against, about the danger of uranium mining only after I made a private visit to Jaduguda. Before that, I don't have the courage to speak anything on this issue because I'm not an expert. So I feel that seeing is believing. So I was made to believe that Jaduguda has become a ghost town, a ghost village. And there was an argument in those days between the pro-mining group and the anti-mining group. So I made a private visit to Jaduguda and find by myself that, yes, this is not safe for the state to allow mining of uranium. Because I have seen how the people suffers different kinds of diseases. It really touched my heart when I see that people are lying in their beds for years altogether because of the effect of this mining of uranium. So I returned back to the state and openly made a statement that I will have to stand against the mining of uranium. So I became one of the main opponents against the mining of uranium. So, sir, therefore I feel that a sincerity on the part of each one of us is the most important thing when we discuss about this resolution. As I said, I don't know, coincidentally, that when the government of Meghalaya, MDA-1, adopted a resolution to demand from the government of India to extend the implementation of ILP, it was on the same day that a presidential order also came up, where it removed the word Khasi Jaintia from the preamble of the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act. So I wonder why the government of that time never protest or raise any objection against this presidential order, because this order is unconstitutional. If you go to Article 372, Clause 3. And this article speaks about the continuance in force of existing laws and their adaptations. What kind of rules or law that the president can adopt? 3, it mentioned that nothing in clause 2 shall be deemed. Let me read clause 2 first, sir. For the purpose of bringing the provisions of any law in force in the territory of India into accord with the provisions of this constitution, the president may by order make such adaptations and modifications of such law, whether by way of repeal or amendment as may be necessary or expedient, and provide that law shall, as from such date, as may be specified in the order, have effect subject to the adaptations and modifications so made, and any such adaptations or modifications shall not be questioned in any court of law. That is clause 2. And clause 3, nothing in clause 2 shall be deemed, A, to empower the president to make any adaptation or modification of any law after the expiration of 3 years from the commencement of this constitution. And B, it also gives us, empower the state to prevent any competent legislature or other competent authority from repealing or amending any law adopted or modified by the president under the said clause. So till today, I have not seen any attempt on the part of the government to challenge or to repeal this presidential order. So which is why, sir, I feel that when we are discussing about issues that really concern the state, such as this, first, we need to be sincere as members of this august house. Which is why I have a question. What will be the fate of this resolution? And another question, is the government of India really need the uranium from Meghalaya? How serious is the need for uranium by the government of India? Is the government of India having any alternative to uranium? So I want to revolve my submission around these questions, sir, because I feel that we need to look at this issue from a wider perspective. Why India needs uranium very badly. So we all know that the Prime Minister of India had launched the Viksit Bharat 2047 on December 11, 2023, which is the country's long-term national vision to transform India into a fully developed nation by 2047, marking the 100th anniversary of its independence. This vision spells out the core vision and goals, such as economic growth, aiming at a $30 trillion to $40 trillion economy, zero poverty, eradicating extreme poverty and ensuring inclusive social progress, quality living standard, providing 100% quality education and affordable high-quality healthcare of all. Another core vision and goal which is relevant with this debate today is technological leadership, driving growth through a tech-driven knowledge economy, artificial intelligence, and innovation. So, as we are aware of the fact that human progress has always been shaped by technology. Electricity transforms how we live and work. Computers change how we process information. Internet connected the world, and mobile phones brought technology into the hands of everyone. Each phase reshaped the society. So we are now entering the 5th industrial revolution, when AI works alongside humans to transform every sector of the economy. It focuses on human and machine working together, using AI to improve the lives of the people and address challenges in agriculture, health, climate change, and a host of other sectors. So AI is often described as a technology enabler with a multiplier effect because it strengthens existing systems rather than operating in isolation. When used in areas like farming, healthcare, manufacturing, or governance. It makes processes faster, more efficiency, and accurate. Country that develops the use of AI stands to gain an advantage in competitiveness and resilience. In this sense, AI is becoming a capability that strengthens the nation and improves the lives of the people. So it is understood that AI has 5 layers of stack. The first layer is known as the application layer. The second layer of stack is the model. The third layer of the AI stack is the compute needed for training and inference. It is also known as the brain behind the ship. Data center and network infrastructure is the fourth layer of AI stack. And the fifth layer of AI stack, which is more relevant with this discussion today, is energy. AI data centers is the energy intensive. As AI adoption grows, the need for more data centers and high capacity power will increase. The electricity demand for data centers is expected to increase significantly. This makes sustainable and reliable power solution critical. Solar and wind energy are central to India's clean energy transition. However, sir, they are intermittent and cannot by themselves meet the round-the-clock power needs of large AI systems and data centers. Nuclear energy therefore becomes an important energy source, providing clean, stable, continuous power for AI infrastructure. So, as India is aiming at becoming a global player in technology, it has to invest heavily on technology development. The United States and China are rapidly shaping the technology standards, global value chains, energy grid, and capital flows that will define the next era of global competition. If India does not keep up, it runs the risk of being fully dependent on foreign technology, equipment, and capital. So let me bring to the notice of this August House. In AI alone, the United States is committing $5 billion, which is equal to rupees 45 lakh crore annually across public and private channels to artificial intelligence, advanced computing infrastructure, data centers, clean power, and associated supply chain. China is investing $100 million, which is equal to 9 lakh crore or more annually in AI and adjacent frontier technology alongside sustained investment in clean energy. So moreover, the recent amendment brought by the central government on the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, where a new clause has been inserted in Section 3, which reads, mineral-bearing land. This has further indicated its seriousness. So I want to read out the statement of objects and reasons of this amendment. Minerals constitute an important national resources which are of great geopolitical importance and are critical to infrastructure, including digital infrastructure, manufacturing, energy security, and the overall economic development of the country. Sustainable and uniform development of minerals across the country is an important pillar to subserve the public interest. Hence, in view of the larger public interest, the Union has taken under its control the regulation of mines and the development of minerals under Section 2 of the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. And in page 4 of this bill, sir, the Union, I would like to read out this para. The Union will take under the control the regulation of mineral-bearing lands having the mineral contents in accordance with the parameters prescribed by the central government under the MMDR Act. This is in addition to the existing provision which declares the Union's control over the regulation of mines and development of minerals. So here are the few concerns that I would like to revolve in my submission. First, I think we need to know the minds of the government of India. So if these indication,
Pardon, Baswami, how much time would we require?
I
Because I,
will
have
not
to
take much,
regulate time.
another 5-10 minutes, because I just
Maybe
want
5 minutes, 5-6 minutes.
10 minutes maximum. So, sir, which I feel that if we know that the minds of the government of India, and the government of India seems to be cornering the states that has uranium deposits. The government of India is also creating a narrative that this is the vision that we have for the country. I see that the government of India, for the interests of the country, they might even go ahead despite the resistance of the people. So what I feel is that we can adopt this resolution, we are all for it. But besides sending a clear message to the government of India through this resolution, we should also make a pledge. We should also make a pledge. And I make a promise for myself, sir, that if the government of India, despite this resolution adopted by the House, decides to go ahead with the mining of uranium in the future, I can simply say that that mining of uranium against the wish of the people will be on my dead body. So I think if we really serious and if we are sincere to the cause, let each one of us, besides the support that we are going to give to this resolution, also make an individual pledge that we will never allow, no matter what, for the government of India to carry out mining of uranium in the state. So with these few words, sir, I once again support this resolution brought by the government and sincerely thanks the government for tabling this resolution so that we can send across to the people of the state that we also, as members of this August House, are with the people and we will not allow any force to forcefully extract this mineral from our state. Thank you, sir.
Chairman, sir, thank you so much for allowing me to participate and to express my support to this government resolution that has been brought in this August House today. I want to congratulate the government MDA2 under the leadership of the able Chief Minister Sri Konrad K. Sangma, who have the courage to bring this resolution in this August House. And I'm happy to see that the House is united to accept this resolution from the expression that we have heard from the opposition as well. Sir, I must thank the government of India that they have done the survey, even though during the survey itself, when they determined the deposit of uranium, there was lots of agitation, but at least we come to know, as a state of Meghalaya, that we are rich, and we have this uranium deposit in the state of Meghalaya. It does not mean that whatever we have, we should utilize it, but it is proud to the state of Meghalaya that we don't need to utilize whatever we have, but at least we have the opportunity to know that the state of Meghalaya, we have uranium deposit. Sir, I want to express once again my sincere thanks to the government, and I stand here to support 100% to this resolution. And I have also one point as expressed by the Honorable LO, that we need to see that any kind of mining that may take place in those areas where deposit of uranium is there. The government has to take care to see that others mining as well, as stone quarry or sand quarry, we have to see that while doing such kind of activities, maybe by mistake, we may have to mine uranium unknowingly in the name of stone quarry or sand quarry as well. As we all are aware that we are concerned about the health hazard that may come, that may take place by uranium mining. So as a government, we have to see also that any kind of mining that may have to take place in those areas, the government has to take special care to see that such mining may be avoided in those areas where we know that there are deposits of uranium. Sir, I want to express my sincere thanks to the Supreme Court of India. In all these years, we know and we are made to accept that we own the land only at the surface, but the beneath, the minerals under the earth, it depends, it's owned by the government of India. But we are very happy, and I want to express my sincere thanks to the Supreme Court in its judgment dated 3rd July 2019, that it has confirmed that the ownership of the land, of the surface of the land, and the ownership of the minerals inside, it's owned by the landowner in the scheduled areas. So we are very happy that now we own the community or the individual who own the land. They are not owning only the surface, but they are owning the minerals as well. That's why I stand here for the people of the state of Meghalaya, and we feel that we are more rich now to know that we own the minerals, we own limestone, we own coal, and it's ours. And yes, it is high time to re-examine the state government, to re-examine again that as the owner, at the rightful ownership that we have, what kind of law that we need to follow to enjoy that ownership. It is very, very important to recall ourselves that and to confirm ourselves that we are the owner, the rightful owner of the land as well as the minerals. Sir, I want to recall in all these years, the NGOs, people of the state of Meghalaya, who have expressed their agitation that they are against uranium mining. I hope today it is a big day and it is a successful day to the people of Meghalaya and to all the NGOs who have expressed all these days against the uranium mining. I hope they will be with the government today to agree and to accept that we won. Whatever they demanded, they won and they got today by passing of this resolution brought by the government. So once again, I want to congratulate the people of the state of Meghalaya. I want to congratulate our young NGOs, our young students who have expressed their eagerness to see that such kind of resolution, and they have expect also to see such kind of resolution to come from the government. And I'm happy that today this resolution has come. And as a state of Meghalaya, I request let us work together to see that this resolution be accepted by the government of India.
Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, I must applaud the Leader of the House for having brought this very important and resolution which we deem to be a historic event. And also, I would like to submit here a few thoughts which I believe can strengthen the resolution by incorporating one paragraph which will make sure that, as a wise man has once said, some doors are not meant to be closed. They are meant to be welded shut. Those doors required to be welded shut. And to do that, I think it is only important, vital, that we reflect on what we had learned while we were in college. John Seeley had said, political science without history has no roots. History without political science has no fruits. Sir, it is incumbent upon me to draw the attention of this House that we have a peculiar constitutional position as the Khasi community. The 25 Khasi states had acceded to India through the instrument of accession. However, at no point of time had these Khasi states ever signed the instrument of merger. The constitution that we swear by, sir, was adopted in 1949 and was made enforceable from January 26, 1950. But prior to that, between the years 1947 and 1948, 25 Khasi states had acceded to the dominion of India. There is a lot of difference between accession and merger. And I'd like to make a pointed reference to para 2 of the instrument of accession, which says, and I quote, "With the exception of the following 3 subjects, all the remaining administrative functions would be common with the central or provincial government under the terms of the standstill arrangement outlined in para 1 above." What are those exceptions, sir? Excise, forest, land and water rights, and the revenue derived therefrom. This is still a constitutionally valid document, sir. It is not, as has been interpreted, subsumed by the 6th schedule, because the rest of Meghalaya also have ADCs. We have the GH-ADC, we have the JH-ADC, we have the KH-ADC, but in respect of the 25 Khasi states, this was the arrangement, that their powers have been clearly defined, and the exceptions to those powers have also been defined here, sir. Excise, forest, land and water rights, and the revenue derived therefrom. I must therefore plead with the leader of the House the need that we incorporate this important historical event by incorporating the words, whereas the Khasi states had individually and collectively acceded to the dominion of India by signing the instrument of accession, which stated explicitly inter alia that certain rights shall be retained with them, including excise, forest, and land and water rights, and the revenue derived therefrom. Sir, not even the British had annexed the 25 Khasi states. They had administered these himas, never annexed them. I must also make a reference here, sir, to the fact that the Khasi states were also not princely states. We had 565 princely states across the country who enjoyed financial benefit through the privy purse till 1971, when it was abolished by the government led by Indira Gandhi. The Khasi states were not princely states. The Khasi states never signed the instrument of merger. The Khasi states only agreed to the instrument of accession. And these 25 states, if you look at the list, they also include The last to sign was Nong Stoin in 1948. Sir, between 1947 and 48, we had signed the instrument of accession, meaning the Constitution of India came later than the instrument of accession. And to say that this is, as leaders from the opposition have expressed, fear about force being applied, I would like to say here that this is a valid document which protects the rights of the people. In 2004, sir, a matter had been brought to the cabinet to consider experimental mining of uranium. As a member of the cabinet at that point of time, I and Ba Alambor Malnyang at that point of time had written to the then chief minister, suggesting and demanding that instead of considering experimental mining, the government should organize a study tour of the areas where mining had taken place. And that team was led by the then health minister, Mrs. Deborah Marak. I remember Saidul Anungrum was part of it. And student representatives of the KSU, led by Samuel Jerwa and Hamlet Dorling, had traveled to Jaduguda to see for themselves the conditions of people in and around that area. So I don't wish to prolong my submission, but let me say this, that while we might adopt this resolution, I still feel that we need to ingrain historical events that were part of our journey in becoming part of India. And that is, as I must stress, to make sure that we do not just close the door, we weld it properly, shut it forever. And that can only happen when the people realize that their forefathers had already executed an agreement which today should form the basis of, apart from the submissions made by the leader of the House and the leader of the opposition, let us incorporate these historical factors, because these are immutable truths that cannot be replaced, cannot be demolished, and will stand the test of time. We have stood firm on this matter for many, many years. I can only say that let us take the matter to its logical end by ensuring that we have a watertight case where we do not allow the exploitation of these mineral resources based, more importantly, on the history of the people and the land.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I also rise to support this resolution brought in by the government in opposition of the uranium mining in the state of Meghalaya. First off, I would like to place my sincere thanks to the government for bringing in this resolution, because I think it is very important for this August House to take a stand on this very important matter. This has been a long and contentious issue. The local people residing in the areas where the rich uranium deposits have been identified have long resisted the efforts of the government of India to mine the uranium from these areas. If we look at the locals who have resided in these areas, we see that many have encountered different side effects. The dangers of unsafe mining of uranium is visible if we see the plight of the locals. Therefore, it is only right for the government to bring in this resolution at this time, because I think that is what the public, the general public of the state of Meghalaya wants. At the same time, we have to see that over these many years, there have been people with vested interest who have tried to enable the illegal ways and means of mining uranium, which is a very, very dangerous, a dangerous trend, so to say. So therefore, I would like to urge the government to be very vigilant in this matter, because if the government is not vigilant enough, then it will give rise to freelancers or people who, with vested interests, would take advantage of the landowners or people who do not understand, who are less educated or who are in need, or whatever may be the reason. So therefore, this is my humble submission to the government of the day, that the government must remain vigilant. And like the Honorable LO has said, that awareness to the locals and to give education to the locals is very, very important. As to any kind of activities in these areas may lead to different sort of dangers and which will cause harm to the people living in these areas. Now, having said that, we cannot also avoid the fact that we are a part of this great nation. The country of India has been competing in the world to be a superpower. We all know that the atomic energy is a source of clean energy. But at the same time, when we talk of clean energy, the source of the clean energy itself is very dangerous. And the effects of the locals, effects that it will have on the locals and the surrounding areas is very, very dangerous. Now, we have to understand the fact that if government of India wants to pursue mining of these atomic minerals, be it in Meghalaya, be it in other parts of the country, they have to come up with a safer solution. I remember interacting with one of the representatives from Jharkhand, where there has been long mining of uranium. It has been a source of uranium for our country. But the effects of the mining in that region has been heartbreaking. So, therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to request the government of India to come up with a solution for safer mining solutions or for safer options for the safe source of, for this clean source of energy. Therefore, sir, I would only like to give my submission very briefly that the members of the opposition as well as the members of the Treasury have all supported this resolution, which is very important for the people of Meghalaya. I think we have been very clear that our people own the surface of the land as well as the minerals within, and the government has to ensure that this is respected and protected in the future. And as members of this August House, we must make sure that we uphold this responsibility towards the people of the state. With these few submissions, I give my wholehearted support to this resolution, and I resume my seat.
I am very happy to, not only happy, I'm really exhilarated to join the chorus of the Leader of the House while passing this resolution against mining of uranium. And I'm happy to see that even the Leader of Opposition has joined the same chorus for the interests of the state and to fall in line with the sentiment of the people. I'm speaking on my behalf, on my personal behalf, and on the people, on the behalf of the people of the states, and on behalf of the people who has raised the sentiments against mining of uranium long time ago. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 10, 15, 20 years back, some of our leaders, legislators, they have been deputed by the government as a team of delegation to visit Ktah and some other uranium mining states in India. And I understand very much that the government also has taken keen interest to see that this uranium mining should not happen in our state because of the health hazards, though of course we understand the benefit in terms of technology development, not only for the state but for the nation as a whole. What the most fearful of the uranium is not because of the gamma or beta radiation and so on, but the most fearful is because we are living in the fragile environment. The most fearful thing is the toxic remains of the uranium in the soil, which we call it the soil pollution. The most fearful for the human life or human beings is the fear of the pollution in the soil underwater. Once the soil is polluted, means the water is also polluted. So, because once the uranium is extracted, once the operation of uranium takes place somewhere or anywhere, we should remember that there is automatically this waste drainage, and this drainage or the runoff from this operation area will convey the runoff to the river, to the stream, to the source of water, which will contaminate the water. So once a human being consumes that contaminated water, we must remember uranium is a heavy metal that causes heavy damage to the organs of human being once we consume the contaminated water. So that's what I said, that radiation, of course, many minerals, they have radiation on Earth. They emit radiation. But the most dangerous thing is radiation from the uranium. And of course, we know that we are also ingesting uranium from very minute or permissible quantity of uranium we are absorbing or ingested from our food. But this is rejected by our body through urines or kidneys. But in case of these metals, uranium, if it is so polluted in the soil, so polluted in the water, that we cannot help. So I am very happy that this House has adopted this resolution, and this resolution will send a strong message even to the nation, that we are against uranium mining. And I'm also very much happy that the leader of opposition has brought this solution under this house to adopt this solution for the interest and benefit of our people of the states. I congratulate the leader of the house that this solution be passed. It is a message of joy for the people, that not only that we are. It is only the house that is against the uranium. It is a message that we are also with the sentiment of the people of the whole state, because long time they were agitating that the states or people are against the uranium mining. I remember long time, 15 years back, the USIL team, they came to the uranium site, uranium deposit site at this Pendeng, Shillong, something like that. And they were convinced the people that this uranium will be taken in raw form until the yellow cake stage. They are not processing till the final stage. They will be taken back to some other place. Not that they will do the whole finishing product in the site. But still then, I do not know, because some of the people, they say that they have already extracted some of the uranium from the site. I do not know, I'm not very sure. But people, there were reports from that area that there was some effect from the uranium. So I feel that we should. I appeal one thing. Just one thing. I feel that I appeal to the government to see that these landowners, where there is deposit of uranium in the subsoil, people or in the generation to come, maybe the company or somebody will go to allure them, take this money, will take over your land. So we'll take care of this, so that developmental activities should also take place in that area, so that the extraction of uranium will no more be a dream.
I would like to thank the chairman for allowing me to take part in this deliberation on the resolution moved by the government. Personally, I would like to thank the government for having come up with this resolution. It has been a contentious issue in the state of Meghalaya as far as uranium mining is concerned. And me personally, and as the party, the Voice of the People Party, we have time and again stated that we are against uranium mining in the state. We know that the impact or the ramification that will have on our people and the state as a whole. And therefore, this day, it will be a memorable day to the people of the state, where as members of this august house, I do believe that each and every one of us will support this resolution. The very fact that we are coming to this moment, I hope so, though we have been airing our concern and we have been fighting against the possible mining of uranium in the state, but this particular OM, which was issued by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, on the 8th of September 2025, it has been a wake-up call for each and every one of us, where through this OM, it whereby exempt mining projects of autonomic minerals notified in Part B of the first schedule or to the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957 from public consultation under the Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2006. This creates doubts in the minds of the people of the state and in the minds of each and every one of us with regards to the intention of the government of India, where going by this OM, we can understand the mind of the government of India, where they indeed have a plan to extract this very important mineral which the nation badly needed for its development. However, we as a community and as a state, we cannot bear the consequences that it might have on our people, and it might even change the demography of our area. And therefore, I stand here wholeheartedly to support this resolution with the understanding that as a community, we have within us the right to reject any attempt on the part of the government of India to extract this mineral. And as some of our members have reminded us with regards to the history of our people and especially of my community, I would like to state in this august house that though we are part of India, but let me remind each and every one of us that prior to 1947, the 24 Khasi states were never part of India. It was only after 1947 and during 1947 to 1949 where the government of India held discussion with these different states, the 24 independent Khasi states. And in this course of the discussion, these 24 independent states decide to accede to the dominion of India. And however, I would like to remind that though we are part of India, but then we have our own rights to protect ourselves and to protect our people. And I do believe, and when we go through the history of our people after we joined the Indian Union, we will be able to understand that we have been guaranteed certain freedom and protection. And I do believe that with this resolution, we will be able to take forward and send a very strong message to the government of India that we as a community and as a state, we will never support the mining of uranium within the state of Meghalaya. And therefore, I rise in support of this important resolution, and I do believe that the government will not only sit after passing this resolution, but will be in touch with the government of India henceforth to express what we believe, and that we are against uranium mining in the state.
Madam Chairperson, I also raise to support the resolution brought by the Leader of the House, Honorable Chief Minister, against the uranium mining in the state of Meghalaya. Madam, it's a historic step, and I want to congratulate and I want to heartfully thanks to Leader of the House for taking responsibility and shouldering the responsibility in taking forward the sentiment and knowing the rights of our people. Madam Chairperson, uranium is one of the most valued elements on the earth. And uranium is being used at the highest level across the world for the nuclear power plant, nuclear energy, and for the medicine purpose. Madam Chairperson, no scientist, no philosopher, no doctor on the earth till today not able to prepare or produce a device to protect from radiation, which have a health hazard, health effect for human beings. Madam Chairperson, as a human being, we cannot avoid daily exposure to the radiation at different stages of our life. Madam, if we look at our lifespan, our grandparents used to live more than 100 years, 80 years, 90 years. The lifespan of our human beings has been reduced today. This is because of exposure to the radiation every day in our lifestyle. Because the exposure to the radiation always kills cells, tissues, or hormones, and it has a genetic inheritance for each one of us. Madam Chairperson, this uranium is being used at a different level, at the highest standard in the world across the globe. Therefore, time may come at a different level. There may be pressure. As the time goes, as the technology improves, what shall we do at that time? Madam Chairperson, if we look at the scripture, the Bible says God created heaven and the earth. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day. It was beautiful. God knows it was beautiful. And God decided, why not we create human beings in our image? And on the sixth day, God created human beings in His image. And He said, you will have authority over the resources on the creation by me. Madam Chairperson, today, God created Adam and Eve on Eden Garden. Meghalaya is our Eden Garden today. Therefore, we must have right to. We should have our decision must prevail to use our resources. To decide on our resources, shall we yes or no? Let former Lok Sabha Speaker, let P.S. Sangma wrote in his book, quoting the quote of someone's. The purpose of any generation is not to consume the resources of today, but the purpose of any generation is to preserve the resources for the next generation. God created the world and His creation beautifully in a balance. But it's the wise generation, the wise people decide, and wise people knows to preserve the resources for the next generation. They are called wise generation. I think today, with the leader of the house taking this resolution, we are testifying that we are wise people. Madam Chairperson, if we look at the debate in the Constituent Assembly in 1949, as I have said earlier, they may be placed at a different stage as the time goes and technology improves. When there was a debate in the Constituent Assembly for the adoption of the 6th schedule, former Member of Parliament Lok Sabha Pramasam, Sri Kaladar Chalia, said in High Court, even the Act of Parliament could not be made applicable to the tribal areas unless the tribal consented to it. And root of 6th schedule was the consent of tribal people. Madam Speaker, the Constitution of India, the 6th schedule, is not been forced designed by the Government of India or parliaments. No. It is just the codification, the written documents of what we are already practicing by the tribal people. Therefore, Madam, in the years to come, any decision must be aligned with the willingness of our own people. Yes, Madam, because physics is my subject and nuclear was my optional paper during my postgraduate. At this, I can practice what I have little knowledge on the physics today. But the Newton's third law of motion says, every action has equal and opposite direction. Yes, the uranium is one of the most high-valued elements on Earth today. And also its destruction will be in the equal measure. But if we recall the history back for more than 100, almost 78 years, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where the first atom bomb was dropped by the US on Japan, where more than 246,000 people lost their life directly or indirectly. It is because of radiation, where the uranium atoms, uranium isotopes was used. But we have many history across the world. Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine, where thousands of people lost. But the exposure to the radiation is very, very dangerous for us. Not only for the human, for our environment. There are many consequences on exposure to the radioactivities, radiation at different level. Therefore, madam, it is indeed fittest to say that today we are anonymous saying no mining in uranium in our state. Madam, today in our government resolution, we specifically mention about the Khasi's reason. As our Honorable LO has already stated, there may be more location where deposit of uranium may be there. So, madam, there is unconfirmed report that even in my constituency, there are 2 locations where there is an unconfirmed report that there is a deposit of uranium. One is near west northern part of my constituency, that is at Chokpot in between Tolegre area, and one is near Barparam National Park. If the government can study better for the precaution, for the management, because some illegality may happen at any point of time. So therefore, I would also request a government to kindly take note of all this. And today, it's a historic for all of us that we are anonymous. And the desire of our people, stakeholders, has been converted at the right forum, that we are from the street to the assembly today. Therefore, this resolution brought by this government, led by the Sir Conrad K. Sangma and the NPP party, will written a golden history in the coming generation of our people. Therefore, madam, I support this resolution. And at the same time, I want to thank this government and the leader of the house and all the members who are standing tall together with a bonding, with a strong bonds in standing against standing together with this resolution.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, for giving me this opportunity to join hands with the government as they brought a resolution that unanimously we should stand together in this very, not only important issue, but a very vital issues facing in our state and in nation. I take this opportunity to remind all of us that this is not the end. This is just a beginning. we need to follow up in the near future, where it leads to. The honesty, the sincerity is the need of the hour. At first place, I felt that it's enough for me just to sit still without opening my mouth. That also, it's a message that silence is constant. But I don't feel enough. I have to stand together for this very vital issue. This issue it need not to discuss, but it need to pass a resolution. Since this subject is very dangerous, not for us, this present generation, but for the future generation. If no one dares to support this resolution, the only message is this: it's better for us, each and everyone, stop producing children from now onwards, so that this present generation will end up. I'll speak here with responsibility and authority. And we want to send a clear message to the government of India that they should not forget the fact that being a great nation, they should not forget the fact that because of Union States, being Indian alone, being as an Indian nation, it not becomes by own self. It is because of Union State. So therefore, I would like to remind myself and all of us today that it was absolutely duty bound and responsibility to say no to uranium. No matter where it leads, if we have to face any consequences, to prevent and to protect our state, and especially for the future generation. Our state has been enshrined by the Constitution, the 6th schedule, to prevent, to protect, and to safeguard